Binding, if the narcissist was honest. This video explains to you how the narcissist sees you in terms of binding you to us. Remember, the lesser and mid-range narcissists don't know what they are and have no insight. And therefore, if they were suddenly provided with insight and they conveyed this insight to you, this is what they would be telling you. Greater narcissists and the ultra already know this, but we won't share this information with you because to do so is a transference of power, which thus undermines our control. And that would be the step of a moron. And the greaters and the ultra are not morons, so we wouldn't do it. But if we were to, this is the information that would be conveyed to you, so that you understand how the narcissist truly regards you with regard to binding you to us. One of our central aims when we have targeted you is to bind you to us tightly. We need to control you, and what better way than to secure that to ensure that you are bound to us as tightly as we possibly can achieve. During the seduction of you, we create this magical place and invite you, and only you, to inhabit it with us. We build a fantastic illusion and place you on a pedestal in the center of this artifice. It is very difficult for you to realize that this is a fallacy, and even harder for you to do anything about it. By drawing you into this false world that has been created just for you by our love bombing, our flattery, our bribery, our mirroring, the fake imposition of support and compassion, all of those things have been created around you so that you are bound to us. It is as if we have taken a segment of your matter and then spawned an artificial world imbued with the very essence of you, so that it wraps around you and keeps you with us. By ensuring that we keep you in this world, then every day, every hour, you remain under our influence. And that enables us to create more ties, more connections, and increase the extent that you are bound to us. Each day, we ensure that a ribbon and a rope and a thread and a chain wraps around you so that you are attached to us. By sharing the things that you like, by doing the things that you like, by avoiding the things that you don't like, by telling you that we love you, by ensuring that you fall in love with us, by taking you to the places that you revel in visiting, by taking you to places that you've always wanted to go to, by engaging in the sports that you enjoy, the museum visits, the theatre attendances, embracing your family with enthusiasm. Every time we say something during this period, every time we do something, there is the sound of another piece of the binding wrapping around you and attaching you to us. We make you feel fabulous, worshipped and loved. The dizzying whirlwind nature of our passion is unlike anything you have known, and you readily accept it. Of course, there is no informed consent. You've no idea what we are, but nevertheless, you accept all of this wonderful treatment. You allow us to permeate every aspect of your life. We creep into every element of it, occupying your waking hours from dawn to dusk. We then, having invaded your life, pull you into ours and make you feel special and privileged for being allowed to do so. We permeate and penetrate every network of yours. Everywhere you turn, we are there. We know all of your friends. We ingratiated ourselves with your family and got to meet your colleagues. We knew all the places you like to go and introduced you to some additional ones. We made sure that we knew every favourite thing of yours, from books to plays to food. Your wine rack becomes stocked with the types of wine that you prefer. You wear the jewellery that was bought for you after careful solicitation of what you deem pretty. And occasionally we will arrive bearing a new book from the stable of authors that you enjoy to read. Bit by bit, we invade your life, and as our relationship progresses at light speed, the gradual, creeping advance of my influence has actually gained more than a toehold. It has spread across your territory like some formidable weed that cannot be held back, covering and smothering. Our clothes hang in your wardrobe. We have a favourite chair at your house. You now buy the cereal that we prefer to eat in the morning, even though you think it's just a mouthful of sugar. You now wash our socks. Our songs populate the iTunes playlist or Spotify. The bathroom is testament to our occupation, with the bottles, razors and accoutrements mingled amongst yours. You cannot fail to see our influence all around you. But you welcome all of this because it means the relationship, from your perspective, is progressing in the right direction, and from it you are given a great happiness. From dating to staying over to cohabiting and on to marriage, this inexorable march of sudden and frantic seduction as we bind you closer and closer. Although, of course, this is only ever apparent to you with hindsight, because at the time it was always the right thing to do, and it results in our lives entwining as we wrap our tendrils around your life and drag it tight against ours. So many links, so many connections, lines and ties between the two of us. These ties are specifically required so that your fuel pumps towards us and we can drink on it. It also means that having tied you so tightly, that the ties will keep you in place, despite the abuse that we will mete out against you. It is sudden, it is bewildering, but you will not fall away at the first silent treatment. You will not march out at the door the first time that you receive that stinging slap across your face. No, we have bound you too tightly to enable that escape to occur too easily. You said the vows, you meant every word, and we know this. You will not let what we have built up crumble to dust. Admirable as your fortitude may be, you may as well stand on a beach and command the tide to halt its unceasing advance for all the good you will do. This will not stop you trying, though, because you are bound so tightly to us. We know this. The ties are many, and we have ensured that they are tight, so that you will not run for cover at the first time we cheat on you. You will not down tools and walk away when the shouting continues long into the night. You do not pack a bag and leave it in the hallway, sitting on the stairs as you wait for us to return late at night from whatever tryst we have been engaged in. You keep going, bound to us, bound to the hope that everything will be good once more, that the golden period will return. By binding you so tightly, we have ensured that you hang in there, that you battle, that you demonstrate misguided resolve, as we continue to lash out time and time again, punishing you for your transgressions against us, for your failure to provide us with that sweet, sweet fuel, for your failure to give us enough of it, for your failure to do what we want, even though we never told you what it was that we wanted. You are punished over and over again, and you cannot escape it, because we have bound you so tightly. Everything that we did in that seduction period was to ensure that you became bound to us, to own you, to possess you, so that when the maltreatment occurs, and it will, Whether it is a sustained devaluation or the repeated stings of the whip of corrective devaluations, you will not run, you will not turn, not at first. Our behaviour is indeed reprehensible as we open up front after front after front against you, leaving you confused and crushed. We twist, blame, push and pull, yet you will not waver. This is because you have been bound so tightly to us. No matter how many times we knock you to the floor, you keep coming back for more, dragged back onto your feet by the ties that bind you to us. Then, one day, you manage to remove yourself from our toxic influence, or in some instances, somebody else cuts you free. You are cut free to the extent that you can be removed, but those ties remain. Instead, there is an elasticity which allows you to escape us, to be taken away from the acidic words and vicious schemes, the insults, the violent rages, the isolation and the denigration may have been halted. You may no longer be subjected to being spat at, having your hair pulled, your money withheld, your social actions curtailed, and your self-esteem trampled underfoot. You may have escaped the daily devaluations which came at you in so many different and unedifying ways, but the ordeal is not yet over. You may not have our furious face shouting into yours anymore. You may not be sat cowering behind a locked bathroom door as we pound on it, demanding you to come out. You may not lie crying in a bed made to feel empty by our absence. You may not stand outside the study, seeing the glow of the monitor within under the door, and wonder, who are we engaging with online? That knotted sensation in your stomach inducing sickness. You may well have escaped many of these manipulations, but the ties remain invisible, connecting you to us. The bond that we have created, aided and abetted by your addiction to us and the presence of emotional thinking, means that the bonds are strong, deep and far-reaching, that every day following disengagement or escape, you will feel a vast void of being parted from us. You will excuse the abuse as you hanker for those golden days. You will feel something has been ripped from you by our absence, even though logically you know how terrible we have acted towards you. You will still suffer that sense of illogical loss. Initially, every day feels empty. You wonder what we are doing, who we are with, and whether we are thinking about you. We want that. You see our presence all around you still. People still ask about us. You collapse onto your bed, burying your face in that t-shirt we kept under your pillow, and you still smell us on it. You drink deep of the scent, hoping the nagging pain will recede, as once again, something else that has bound you to us is reactivated. Somehow, you want to be magically restored to where we both once were, when we were happy, or more accurately, when you were happy and we looked as if we were happy. You will run your fingers over the tub of hair wax which we have left, and you remember watching us as we carefully applied it. There, another tie between you and us. No matter how logically you ought to purge and get rid of this, the tie that has bound you is such that you cannot bring yourself to discard it, clinging on to these reminders of the joy that once abounded in the walls of this house. You pass the bookcase, touching the spines of the volumes that we bought for you, yet more ties. The words and letters, all further reminders of our presence here in this house, yet more ties. You see the pictures of you and I taken together that you have yet to purge, yet more ties. You miss us. You miss us so much. You shouldn't. Logically, you should not, after what we have done, not after the vile treatments that you have suffered by our hands and by our mouths. It makes no sense that you should feel this way, but you do, because you remain tied to us. That aching is caused by the ties that remain still being pulled and yanked, even though we are not there with you. The searing pain rises, another reminder appears, the tie is still strong. Unlike an umbilical cord which provides life, your cord to us continues to pain you. When will this end? When will this agony recede and be replaced by something else? Would it now not even be better to feel nothing, to be numbed and anaesthetized, so you do not have to endure this ongoing pain created by the tie between you and us? When we seduce you, we create these ties so that you are drawn to us, so we can control you, gain fuel, character traits and residual benefits. Having bound you so tightly, you cannot just wriggle free immediately when we devalue you. And even when we have disengaged from you, we still maintain some of the ties. And even when you have cut some of them so you can escape, you are unable to cut them all. You always remain bound to us as a consequence of our need to control you, to feed upon you, by way of gaining that fuel, character traits and residual benefits. We always want to maintain these ties because you belong to us.